Morning, everybody. How are y'all doing today? I'm not gonna lie, I am doing slightly less good than I was before because I just watched the Halo Campaign Evolved gameplay, and I'm not gonna lie, I have some issues with it. Now, is it all bad? No, of course not. There are some positives, and I'll go over them. It's just the negatives seem to drastically outweigh the positives. And let me just get this out of the way right now. If this game is not $50 or under, I automatically won't be buying it. From what we've seen so far, nothing justifies this game being $70. Now, granted, we do not know the price yet. For all we know, it could be $50. If so, great. If they try to charge $70, I will tell them to take that $70 and shove it up their ass. But why exactly am I so negative about this? Well, let's go over everything. We'll start with the positives. So, starting off, there are actually going to be 3 brand new missions included with this game, which are prequel missions to the events of Combat Evolved, and they apparently involve Master Chief and Sergeant Johnson. So who knows, maybe we'll get to see Chief slaying on Reach or something like that. I have no idea. That right there is awesome. I'm glad to see that they're actually adding some new content. Also, the game is coming to PlayStation. Great. I am super happy that all the PlayStation guys will finally get to play Halo, even if, unfortunately, it looks like they're going to be forced to experience the worst version of Combat Evolved. But I'll expand on that in a little bit. Regardless, though, the game coming to PlayStation is great. More people get to play it, and the game will not only have split-screen co-op, but it will have online co-op with up to 4 people, and it will be cross-play. So if you're on Xbox and you got a friend on PlayStation, or you're on PC, you got a guy on PlayStation or Xbox, you can play all together. That is great, and I do applaud them for doing that. And that's about all the positives. First off, this game, as expected, because it's being made with Unreal Engine 5, looks very blurry. My eyes were actually starting to hurt when watching some cutscenes because of, like, the jittering effects that were happening. And I watched this video in full screen at 1440p, and it still looks ridiculously blurry. Since it's Unreal Engine 5, you already know it's going to be crutching off of upscaling like DLSS and FSR, and it's probably going to have frame gen thrown in there. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they force motion blur on consoles and you couldn't turn it off. There's something very special about Unreal Engine 5 where it's able to make games look so great but also so bad because the actual graphics and the textures and whatnot look amazing, but then you have to crutch on upscaling to make it run somewhat decently, and because of that it looks like smeared crap. Not to mention, during the gameplay showcase, there are several times where you can notice massive stutters in the game. I'm sure you'll notice that there's some stuttering in the Master Chief Collection gameplay I have going in the background as well. And you're right, that's unacceptable as well. Let's make that very clear. It's not okay that either game has that issue. Also, speaking of visuals, I'm sorry, the UI is not good in this game. This straight up looks like they copy-pasted the Halo 5 UI and then moved some of the elements around a little bit. I mean, seriously, here's the Campaign Evolved UI and here's the Halo 5 UI. It's just so cluttered, and a big reason for this is they're doing the same thing that they did in Halo 5, where for some reason they're trying to show like the kind of outline of the mask with like those lines on the top and bottom of the screen. They kind of form in the shape of Chief's mask, which is just really distracting. Combat Evolved's UI was just fine. It was super minimal. It wasn't cluttered or anything. You didn't have to change it at all, and yet they made it worse. Even Halo Infinite got its UI right, and that's mainly because they copied it from Halo 3. And for how much copy and pasting from Halo Infinite there is in this game, I'm surprised they didn't just do the UI as well. Speaking of which, so much of this is so obviously copied from Halo Infinite and just put into Unreal Engine 5. The assault rifle reload is the same. The needler is the same. It looks terrible. Why is there an ammo counter on the back? You have the needles sticking out of the top to show you how much ammo there is, not to mention in the corner of the screen where it shows your gun, it shows how much ammo you have left. The Halo Infinite needler looks terrible, and I genuinely don't get why they brought it into this game. Also, why is there spread on the weapons? Like this is Halo Reach? There shouldn't be spread. Just do what the original game did. Have the circle in the center that shows where the bullets can go. Don't make the spread larger as you fire more rounds. Why did they take the worst aspects from Halo Reach and implement it into this game as the main combat system? The biggest complaint I have with Reach is its god-awful spread system, and they brought it over here. While we're talking about guns, can I just ask, I know everybody has brought this up already, why does the AR only have 32 rounds? And why does it sound so weak? Oh wait, I'll tell you why. It's again because they copy-pasted it from Infinite. And it's not just the AR, the Magnum sounds terrible in this game. It sounds like an airsoft gun. Listen to this. How the Anniversary Edition of this game has better sound design than this realistic Unreal Engine 5 remake is insane to me. Also, we gotta talk about the actual gameplay itself, not the gunplay, but like the actual moving around the world and the level design and all that. First of all, there is sprint in this game. Granted, you can turn it off, which is good. I would definitely do that if I did buy the game. But honestly, I don't think it should be there at all. Also, there's no fall damage from what we've seen in the trailers, which is very concerning because both of these things greatly contributed to how you approached combat encounters in Combat Evolved. No sprinting let you take in the world better. It forced you to play tactically and not just run in and out of every situation. Not to mention, when it comes to fall damage, there were multiple instances in the original Combat Evolved where having fall damage was actually a thing that forced you to play differently. For example, I'm going to show you this footage I just grabbed from the level 2 Betrayals. This is just after you leave the control room and you need to head back down and grab the Banshee so you can fly up. The level is designed in a way so that you have to go back down the ramps that you came up, and there's enemies placed along the way to block you. And as you can see in this footage right here, if you try to jump off and skip the section, you can, but you take a massive amount of damage and you're almost guaranteed to die. And even if you don't die, you're down a massive amount of health and you really only have your shields to work with. If the remake has that exact same level layout, but doesn't have fall damage, then you can just skip the entire combat encounter with no effort. Now, granted, you can slide down the side to mitigate the fall damage in the original game, but at that point, you're outsmarting the game and actually thinking through it yourself. You're not just mindlessly throwing yourself over the edge. And this isn't the only time they've done this. In the Silent Cartographer gameplay that they showed, they removed the tree that you've probably seen at this point in the gameplay I'm showing that tries to prevent you from taking the Warthog up through the passageway, so you actually have to fight the hunters with your guns and not just drive around. Now, yes, in the original Combat Evolved, you could get past this, but again, you were outsmarting the game when you did that. It wasn't just mindlessly, hey, let's drive the vehicle up here and just run over these guys real quick and shoot them a couple times. I love when games let me outsmart them and I feel good about it. I don't love when they just hand me stuff that I really shouldn't be handed. The best comparison I can think of for stuff like this is Elden Ring. There are a million ways in Elden Ring to outsmart bosses in different areas. You can straight up walk into certain bosses' arenas and just walk behind them and poison them to death for 30 minutes if you have the right setup. Are you meant to do this? Hell no, you're definitely not supposed to, but the game lets you if you're smart enough to figure it out and think like that. Also, I just have to point this out. Me and my roommate were talking about this earlier. The interiors of this level look so bad in the remake. I mean, just look at this. It literally looks like you set the surrounding environment to be grayscale, and then you just have the pink needler with you. There is no color and no life to these interiors at all. It looks like if Infinity Ward made a Halo game with how washed out everything is. Oh, and I completely forgot to mention earlier in the weapons quote-unquote section, it's not really a section, I'm just kind of rambling, but they're adding a bunch of weapons to this game from future Halo games. They're adding the energy sword, the battle rifle, and the needler rifle, which it just doesn't make sense. Why are you adding weapons to a remake of a game from future games in the franchise? I mean, I'm not completely opposed to it, and if I'm honest, this is one of my lesser complaints, but it's still just weird. Also, I'm gonna be completely honest, I even think some of these newer cutscenes are worse. Like, look at this final cutscene when he's walking into the really big room, and then he kicks the thing off the ledge and turns back around. First of all, notice the massive stutter right before the cutscene actually starts, so that's great. But then also, I just have to ask, does the way that Chief, like, looks around here with his gun look weird to anybody? The first time I saw that, I was like, that something about that looks really off. But that aside, I also feel like this cutscene just does a worse job of showing what's actually going on in the room compared to the original cutscene, because the original had just a wide-angle shot that showed everything. In the new cutscene, you can only see what's behind Chief, so it just looks like he's looking at a bunch of walls. I don't know, maybe that's a bit nitpicky, but honestly, that's just what it looks like. God, and this is the way they're gonna introduce Halo to PlayStation. You know what would have been a way better idea? Hold on, I'm gonna give you like a 1 minute or 30-second spiel on what would have been a way better idea. Make Halo 3 Anniversary in the same way that you did Halo 2 Anniversary, where you have the CGI cutscenes and then you have the improved graphics in the actual game. Announce that as an update for MCC, and then on top of that, announce that MCC is coming to PlayStation. And while you're at it, how about you actually fix MCC's god-awful broken multiplayer and UI? Every time me and my friends try to play Halo MCC as a group, it's like pulling teeth. I'm not even kidding when I say I would have rather had Halo 5 come to PC than this. Okay, maybe that's a bit extreme, but still, it should have been Master Chief Collection gets updated with Halo 3 Anniversary, and then it comes to PlayStation. That's all they had to do, and they chose to go this route instead. Just unbelievable. Oh, and by the way, before I forget to say it, we don't have a release date. They just said 2026. I am so sick of just getting a year. Not just years, though. I'm sick of getting like a year and a season, because it's almost guaranteed there's gonna be a delay. Announce the game when it is ready and you know when you can release it. Because guess what? Each time you delay it, expectations go up. God, this sucks so much, dude. All I wanted was Halo 3 Anniversary, and we got yet another remake of CE. This is now a remake of a remaster. No wonder this is what they're putting on PlayStation. They know the PlayStation guys will buy remakes of remasters. God, I'm sick of it. Stop with the remakes. Stop with the remasters. At least the unnecessary ones. How about you remake something that could actually use a remake? Creativity is officially dead. I shouldn't be surprised, though. This is a $1 trillion company we're talking about. And like I said at the beginning, if they are gonna try to charge $70 or God forbid $80, they can go ahead and shove that money right up their asses. I'd rather take $70 in bills and shove it up my ass than buy that game for that price. Oh man, I think that's it. I think I'm good now. So yeah, anyway guys, with all that being said, that is all I've got for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and let me know, what are your thoughts on this Combat Evolved remake? Do you think it's fine? Are you with me and you think it looks bad? Do you also wish there was a Halo 3 Anniversary instead of this? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, with all that being said guys, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more. Join us every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on the gaming channel for gaming streams, and consider becoming a channel member if you want Discord access and awesome emotes, and I will catch you all next time.